Are you able to see the screen as well as the sound? Any issues? Okay. So, all right. So, well, before we start, right? How many of you have a fair idea about ETL already? And how many? Okay, let me start a poll. Okay. How many of you have got underwent the training on ETL already? Okay. So I'm safely assuming that this one will be. Oh, is it okay? I see a couple of them with no idea about ETL at all. All right. Okay. Okay. So I see 60% of you people have a little idea about where ETL testing. Okay. All right. So let me give a brief gist about what is all ETL all about and what is the expectation and what is that we will be training you in this particular sessions. Okay. So ETL is nothing but extract, transform, and loading. Now, say suppose if you take any organization, all the day-to-day activities are stored in database, right? So I suppose we all understand what is a database all about. Anyone with without any idea about what is a database? Now is it okay? Now is it visible? All right. So all the organizational day-to-day activities are stored in a database. Earlier it was, if you see the olden days, earlier it was in a notebook. All the transaction information, the local traders, what they used to do, they used to maintain a ledger book, right? And slowly with Microsoft Excel into place, people started using Excel to store the data. But the problem, the classic problem with Excel is you don't have much reporting, or you have to fetch a lot of data. So fetching data was not that easy, right? So you will have to read the data, you will have to alter the data, you might have to delete some data. So all these activities were done in Excel, but that was not that user friendly. That's where the concept of database came into picture. So the evolution is notebooks, then ledger books, then came the Excel, and then the database. In between, we got MS Access actually, and then the database. Now, if you see a bigger organization, you will have multiple databases. Say you say Amazon. Amazon has sales section, sales, marketing, HR, finance, and operations. These are few of the divisions in Amazon. Now, if you take sales itself, you got a lot of countries where Amazon is selling. So country-wise information has to be stored. Now, if you see here itself in the simple example, you got more than 5 departments where the data is stored. And obviously Amazon has millions of transactions that happen in a real time. Okay. Now, from the data retrieval point, touching something which is already used for live purpose will be like your performance will be reduced, right? Everyone agrees to this point? I am using a system, okay, for which a million of transactions are happening in real time. Now at the same time I want to read the data from it, which means I am putting some extra burden on the processor, thereby the performance will be reduced, right? It's a general terminology. Now, in order to solve that problem, the best solution is have a backup of the real-time data to a certain date or certain time, and then do your read read and reporting activities, right? So that's where the concept of data warehouse arised. Okay. So what you're doing here, you're copying the existing data in the database to a new system, which will be a backup. It can be a backup, or it can be changed according to your business reporting needs. A simple example is, let's take sales information itself in Amazon. So Amazon sales information, if at all I have to save it, say suppose I have a product that is being sold. So I'll need product details. I'll store these product details, then the customer details and the shipment details, right? So in product details, what will you have? Product ID, cost price, what do you say? The quantity, brand. Whereas in customer details, you will have customer name, mobile, address, etc. Whereas in shipment details, shipment ID for the tracking number and the date, status, right? So these are the details that will be stored for any Amazon sales. Now from the management perspective or from the reporting perspective, what do you require? You might be requiring number of customers who bought a product, or number of customers by state or country who bought the product. So what if you see, you will have to fetch this information by a combination of these three values, right? These three sections, and you will have to do some aggregations or additions, deletions, or some formulas you will have to apply, right? So the data that is in a crude form or in a detailed form, in this section, when you come to reporting, it is becoming an aggregate data or an useful information. So this is data, whereas this is information. So coming back, so data warehouse will be a replica of database, but it would be changed according to your business reporting needs. Okay, so this entire process has to be done using mirroring concept or backup in terms of database. Now when it is a plain backup, you can use mirroring or backup concept, whereas if it has to be changed according to your business needs, okay, the format how it was stored in database will not be the same in data warehouse, right? So what are you doing? You are changing the format how the data is stored to become information. So in plain terms, in technical terms, we call it as schema change. Schema means the skeleton, how the data is being stored. Here you got product ID, cost price, all these details. Whereas here you will have, if I want to find the number of customers, which means count of customers, right? By a product. So if you think of SQL, it will be select counts of customer name, comma, product from both these tables, where you will have some joins like that. So what is it happening? You are changing the way you are seeing the data. So that is where the mirroring or backup concept will not help you. For this, you need specific tools which will change the data format into the business defined format, and these tools are called as ETL tools. Okay. The other way of telling is, if you have if you want to see the data from Amazon itself, apart from sales information, you got HR information, right? HR data. Now in HR, you got sales people also. So in HR data, you will have employees who are both technical, managerial, sales, marketing, in-house operations, finance people, so on and so forth. Now, when a sale happens, the marketing guys as well as the sales guys will get commission. So there's a link between the sales and the HR. Now both are two different systems, right? Say suppose when Amazon started, it thought that for HR management we require PeopleSoft. Okay, this is for HR management. I'm assuming that you all know what is PeopleSoft all about, or you got Oracle HCM. You got a fair idea what PeopleSoft and Oracle HCM is about? Yes, no. Whereas, okay, sales information is stored in Siebel or Oracle database. Okay. This is for sales management. Now, if you see, both of them are two different systems. PeopleSoft use a different database. Oracle HCM will use Oracle database. Whereas sales management, if it is done in Siebel, Oracle and Siebel are two different systems. Now, if I have to fetch information or the commission definition, I'll have to join both the systems. Now, these systems are heterogeneous systems, which means they are of different format, or different types. They are of different type, right? Now your information has to be in a homogeneous system, which means in a same format system. Now converting these heterogeneous systems in data into a homogeneous system information is also a tedious task. You cannot use the mirroring concept or the backup concept or the snapshot concept here. So what do you have to do? You will have to use a tool which will convert this particular different format data into an uniform format, right? So that's where the ETL tool will come handy. So now you understood what is the purpose of having ETL and what is the ETL tool all about. Any questions so far? All right. Okay. So now, as part of this training, okay, before I go ahead, 1 second. Okay. So before I go ahead, so in the market we got multiple tools. Okay, we got commercial tools as well as open source tools. 1 second, let the screen. Yeah. So we got commercial tools like IBM's Data Stage, Informatica Power Center. Recently, Oracle came with Warehouse Builder (OWB) and Oracle Data Integrator. So, and then we got ASETL Studio, BODI from SAP, and then earlier it was Business Objects, later it was acquired by SAP, and then you got SSIS from Microsoft and Ab Initio. and we got freeware or open source tools like Jasper, Talent, and Clover ETL. Now, as part of this training, we will be using Informatica Power Center. Okay, and the expectation, the prerequisites from you guys is a knowledge on database, specifically Oracle and SQL queries is expected. This is a prerequisite that is needed for this particular training. And someone who has joined today for the first time, we have the earlier sessions that are already present. You can go through them before we start. And the next session, the actual training will start from next Tuesday, and that would be 24th. Okay, so till that time, if you would want to brush, you can, or if you want to go through the old videos, please go through them. And the what do you say, the codes will be like this. We will be giving you the access to Informatica Power Center, where in Power Center you got repository manager. Power Center has repository manager, and then you got designer, Power Center designer, workflow manager, and workflow monitor. So designer, workflow manager, and workflow monitor. So each of these tools have their own usage. So repository manager is a central repository for all the code ETL code that is developed in a simple way. So what it does is, if you take any real-time environment, right, you will have multiple environments, dev, and then you got QA, and then you got pre-prod or UAT environment, and then you got prod, right? So for these four environments, you will have to maintain the code correctly. So the code definition and the code details will be mentioned in repository manager. The code is nothing but which is developed in Power Center Designer. So designer will have maplets. Sorry, first we will have the connections to the source and target systems. So source can be a database, flat files, third-party applications, okay, where you'll plug in and then use it, okay, or a shared path, which will have a flat file or what do you say, flat files or documents. Okay, so these will be your source systems. The connections to these source systems will be mentioned, whereas your target will be a data warehouse, which is nothing but a database again. But the way you are looking is different. That's the reason we are differentiating data warehouse, but it's by what do you say, by specification, or by what do you call it as, it is just like a database, but the way you are using is different. That's the reason we are terming it as data warehouse. That's it. Okay, so in the designer we got these connections, and then the maplets, the mappings, which will be used to copy data from source to target. So just like you have any automation tool, if you take Selenium or UFT, you have you will write in Selenium using Java, and UFT using VBScript, right? Same way in in Informatica as well, you will have a user GUI interface. Okay, this is all GUI based, where you will have the connections from source to top. You will be dragging and dropping and if there are any aggregations or formulas to be written, this will be written in using SQL, but not the actual SQL format, but a little change in it. Okay, so that's how the mappings are defined. And then the workflows. Workflows are a combination of one or more mappings. This will define how do you run the mapping, whether it's a sequential run or it's a parallel run, okay, so on and so forth. So these definitions will be defined in the designer. Okay, whereas workflow manager will have all the workflows at one shot. This is where you will be running, we will run the workflows to copy data into data warehouse systems. Okay, and last but not the least is workflow monitor. This is the area where we'll be seeing the log, just like we see the log, right? The same in the power center, we will have the log area, which will give you the statistics, how many columns, source rows have been copied into target, if any failures are there, if it is success, or if the workflow has not been initiated. Okay, where will I be seeing the what is the end time, start time, the other statistics you will be seeing in workflow monitor. Okay, all right. So from this training, you will be understanding, you will be understanding what Power Center is all about, Informatica is all about, how to check the mappings based on incremental or full load, how the workflows should be defined, and then how to check the log and understand the defects, or understand the error messages. So this is what you will be you will be made to understand by looking at the mappings. So for this, right, you will have to act as a white box tester. So as an ETL tester, you will be termed as a white box tester because you are looking into the Informatica tool, understanding how the code is written. All right. So this completes the demo session. Any questions, please post them. I'll be happy to answer you. Yes, Funny. Yeah, Funny, you have raised your hand. Any question? Hello.
Hi Mahesh.
Hi, Funny. Yeah, hi.
Yeah, thank you very much. The session is very nice. And but one thing is, this is my very first session I have attended.
Okay.
So I need the previous info also. So from where I can get all those videos and
Okay. Uh, Please reach out sales.elearn.com,
okay,
elearn@gmail.com. They will share. The team will share you the details. Okay. You will
okay,
be able to see the videos. All right.
okay. Thank you, Mahesh.
Sarita, is this training about ETL live project or something else? It's about ETL live project, Sarita. Okay. So someone is asking, is this a part of JP? No, 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 no. The pending project, yes. See, as part of this training, right, we will be using a sample Amazon project, okay, where I'll give a database, source database, which will have the backend of Amazon projects. A sample Amazon project will be created from sales perspective. So that would be your source, as well as Oracle database, that's your source, and some flat files which will have data. Now using these two as a source, using Informatica, we will have to copy the source information data into Oracle data warehouse, which is nothing but an Oracle database. But how the schema of data warehouse schema will be different. So if you go back to the ETL training, we got different types of transformations, right? So all the transformations will be shown in terms of mappings. So you will have to open the mappings in Power Center one at a time. Okay. So one mapping is for one table. All right. So you'll have, say, suppose if I got 10 mappings, there are 10 tables in source and there are 5 tables in data warehouse. So I'll be having minimum 10 mappings. So for these, one will be a straight copy. So based on the type of transformations, we will be creating the transformation. So those mappings will be provided to you in the Informatica tool. You will have to analyze, you will have to verify whether it will be copying the data correctly or not. For that, the source system, the information, the data has to be created by you. I'll give you the schema, the file format, but the data has to be inserted by you. You will have to run the mappings and verify the data in the data warehouse, whether it's coming correctly or not. The same goes with incremental load and full load. All right. Okay. Staging will obviously come. That is a part of your Informatica tool itself. So because you got Oracle database and flat files, obviously you will have to create a staging environment. Okay. So staging environment is nothing but a part of the Oracle database itself. So on the fly you will be creating, and once the data is copied, that staging environment will not be there. The data will not be there ideally. But here you will be able to see what it's there. Okay. Navroz, hi Mahesh, will be given training on Informatica tool. Yes, the tool, how to use the tool, what are the sections. As I said, we got 4 different parts in this tool, right? So we'll be explaining you how to use it, where to check what. All right. So I'm totally new to ETL testing. So do I need to go through the other sessions before? We would suggest to go through the old sessions before, well before we start this live project. Yes. See, ideally, we would suggest you to have a knowledge on SQL queries, because that's where you will be. See, it's like this. If you are doing a web application whitebox testing, what will you be doing? So you will be testing the backend code that is written. Say, suppose it is written in Java, you will verify whether the logic has been written correctly in the code or not. So for which, what do you require? You need to have an understanding about Java, right? The same goes with ETL tool as well. So in the mappings will be written, it's a GUI based mapping. But for the logic, right, the logic will be written in SQL format. So you need to have a knowledge on SQL, or at least how do you read the SQL queries. If you have that, that will help you. All right. So please go through the old videos, the ETL training videos. That will help you. So is it Sarita is asking, is it something I'll do myself as live project or shown in training? No, no. The only task that I'll be doing is I'll be letting you know how to use the tool. Okay, it's you who will have to insert the data. It's you who will have to verify the mappings that we have created, run them and see whether the data is coming correctly or not, and you will have to do the comparison, just like how you do in the real time. So Sarita, you raised your hand. Any question? I have unmuted you.
What is the duration of the project?
It is 20 days. We will have a gap of 2 days, because today if the session happens, you will be coming back on the day after tomorrow with your effort. Okay, and we will discuss about the effort. That is, we'll be discussing about the hindrances and whatever changes that you have done, or what is the the progress that you have done. We'll keep a track of it. So it also includes writing test cases. So you will have to write your test cases. You will have to understand the requirement. So the entire testing process will be handled in this particular training.
So how can I access to the tools and everything?
Tool, we will give you a VM image. You will have to log in and access it. So for that, you need to have a system, and which is at least 8 GB RAM. It's of 4 GB RAM, sorry. Okay, and you should have at least a space of 20 GB.
Okay.
All right. What is the difference between data warehouse and big data? Hmm. So data warehouse, if at all you want to find out where this particular data has come, or from which system it has come, it is not that easy to find. Whereas in big data, right, you will be having the source also in the data warehouse, but in a different format, and you will be able to know from where this particular system, from this particular data has come from. And if you take bigger systems like Amazon or Google, right, the amount of information is huge, and it is not that easy to retrieve the data in data warehouse also. Okay, because say suppose let's take Google itself. If you search in Google, you will get images, Word documents, videos, Excel sheets, different kinds of data. Now, how do you retrieve the entire information? Right? Simple example is, I have IT Learn. I have different organizations which are catering to the ETL training. Now, if you go and search in YouTube, you will see a lot of information from multiple systems. IT Learn has a different database, whereas other organizations use a different database. Now, all this information has to be fetched, and it should be fetched very fast. So these data warehouse systems are homogeneous systems, as we discussed earlier, right? But ideally, it is not suggest, I mean, it is not that easy to maintain a homogeneous data. That's the reason, let's keep the heterogeneous form itself, but retrieval, how do you do that? The compactness, that is done using big data. That's the concept of big data. It's a next level to data warehouse. A simple example, but there's much more on the big data. can you provide us how to download this ETL tool? This is not a free tool, it's a commercial tool. So this is hosted on our website, on our VM. So that we will share with you once you are a paid member, and you will have to, and you will be using it. All right. Suneet, you will be providing the mapping document? Yes, that's the requirement document for ETL testing. Khadija, this is part of JPEG? No, this is not part of JPEG. This is a different one. Sarita, tool access will continue after training? No, only during the training you will be having the access. Emily, can we join at any time and do the testing? Yes, you can join anytime during the testing. You can use the VMware anytime, but only to a specific time. So ideally, right, we will be giving you 3 months access. Okay, you can use the tool and you can create your mappings. I will try for 3 months access, but we'll have to see the feasibility based on the numbers. How Informatica is different from SQL BI? It's the GUI. It's how many systems or how many types of source systems it will have an access to, and what is the amount of flexibility. Say suppose what do you say? A simple example is the way you write your logic, the way you create the mappings, the way GUI is defined. Okay, that is different from one tool to the other, but end of the day they all serve the same purpose. Okay, the fees and about this training will be let you know by the team itself. I'm not the correct person to let tell you the fees. Frankly speaking, I don't know about it as well. So okay, what we do are webinar sessions. So you will be reporting the work status and any issues or roadblockers you are finding in between the training. That will be discussed and we will find a solution for it. See, based on the students count, we will define the teams. Okay, we'll divide into teams. If the count is more, we'll divide to a maximum of 3-member team. Maximum. Okay. And if you want to do it individually, please let us know. We will give you we'll provide the assignment as an individual task. All right. So that depends on the number of students that will be there. Yeah, the max will be 3 because people are in multiple time zones and it would be very uncomfortable or it would be not that easy to coordinate. Ideally, we would want that because even in any real-time project, you will have onshore offshore model. So there you will have to collaborate with all, right? So we would want more people, but based on the count, we will define. Timing will be 5:30 to 6:30 every day, starting from Tuesday, every alternate day, and total duration will be 20 days. PST, PST, it's PST time, not EST. Yes, 5:30 PST. All right. Any other questions before we wind up? Navroz, yes, we will be happy to answer your questions. but not immediately. At least it will take a time of 50 to 15 or 1 hour, something like that. But we'll be answering your questions even after the training is over. Can we be able to finish the project in 20 days? We will give you a project which will be which can be completed in 20 days. But I'm telling you, it's not confined to 20 days. Till the time people are comfortable, we will be extending the sessions. And the track record says that it has extended to 30 days as well. So don't worry about the duration. Till the time you're comfortable, we'll have the session. Okay. I have a last question, Emily. I am already paid member, so I will be able to attend the session. Yes, you will be able to attend the session, Emily. And I'll be the trainer. Yes. How do we connect our Oracle to Informatica? Informatica okay, I'll tell you the story. Till 2020, Informatica has tie-up with Oracle. Okay. After 2020, Informatica will be an independent tool. So they will have to be a paid member with Oracle, because Oracle came with its own tool, Oracle Data Integrator. Okay. So by default, at this moment, without any add-on, you can connect to Informatica. You can connect your Informatica tool to Oracle database. It's just that you have to give your host username and host IP, the SID and SID connection details, and then your username and password. As simple as that. Which all databases Informatica support? It supports Oracle, Siebel, Teradata, MS Access, SQL Server, and source flat files. It is also now having a cloud version. Okay. Sybase also it has a connection, but I think Sybase is now they are no longer giving the support for Sybase. Can you provide a glimpse of Teradata as well? I'm sorry, Emily. Teradata, it's just a connection to that system, right? You're just connecting to it. But this session is more on Oracle database. All right. Any other questions, team? Next session is on Tuesday, from Tuesday. All right. That would be last paid session, last free session. After that, it would be paid session. And then once we get the paid members, we will share the VM image and we can start using it. All right. So that's it. So for us, product is included. Yes, Sunit. All right. Thanks everyone for joining this today's session. We'll see you back on Tuesday.